Right, so starting off with sections and really understanding what sections are in this case. So sections are, as we've already said, they're like building blocks that help to organize your web page, and they define or divide the content into different parts. So you'll see this on the vast majority of web pages, and I apologize for some of you if you are bespoke web developers. This will be second nature to you guys. Just trying to cover the whole audience that we might have available here. So it makes it easier to understand. You can see here that this sample page I've got here is split into 3 different sections. So it makes it nice and clear, dividing up your section, dividing up your content into different sections. Now, when we're actually adding our sections into Infigo itself, we have a few different possibilities of what that section might be and how that section might work. So I'll go through this slide and then we'll actually go and see how a couple of those work on the actual storefront itself. So when we're generating content templates, users have several sections options to choose from. And again, you can put numerous different sections on each page body. You're not limited to one. You can add as many as you like. Now, the first one is section. So you can see the little drop-down list there. We can add a section. This is kind of a general section template facilitating placing content in customized columns. So, for example, the one we've got here, which I showed, is a section where we've just formatted the particular content. The next option we have is a slider. So that is a scrolling slider, which facilitates sections with differing appearance. So this changes it ever so slightly. You're still specifying the layout and the content of those sections, but seeing as it's sliding between different slides, pages, whatever you want to call them, you will have to specify multiple different layouts, and you can fully customize those as well. We also have featured content. So this is in the product style or in the category style. We won't touch on these too much today, but just to show you what it is that they look like. So I'll use that demonstration page that I've set up. So we have a section which is featured content of product style and of category style. And that will essentially allow you, so the same way in which you can have featured products or featured categories, it allows you to display content on your homepage using the identical style of those sections. So these don't have to link to products or categories. It's just using that particular styling. So this could link to other pages. It could link to products if you want it to, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's take a look at adding a couple of sections just for context. Now, when we're actually going through this process, I'm going to build, just for this example, a content page. So a brand new web page that we can update very easily and take a look at very easily. So I'm just going to go to our content pages section, create a new content page. I'll save that and I'll get started just by changing that to Content Template Editor. What this gives us by default is the selection of no content templates, but we can choose our builder, which is the one we're going to be focusing on. That does give you a section in there by default, but you can get rid of that if you wish to do so. So you're starting off with a clean slate, a blank section. Go to Add Content over on the bottom right, and that gives you the option to add different types of sections that we've just been talking about. So we'll start off with a section itself. Now we can add layouts, so different numbers of columns. We can add content to this. We'll do that in the next steps. However, if we want to look at specific configuration options for that particular section, we'll go to that little configuration icon, And you'll see this allows us to control things such as if we want to change the background color, if we want an image to be displayed in the background, all little different styling options, which are accessible via drop-down lists rather than having to write that HTML code. So just so we can see what we're doing here, I'm just going to switch that background color to be my primary color. So that's what's being utilized in my appearance settings. And then click on Save. I'll load up that page. And I have a section at the top here, which is that color. It just so happens to be the same color as my footer as well. So that's the section included. There's no content in it so far. That is the section included. We could also add a slider. So I'll try one of those as well. And you'll see that, as I mentioned before, this requires a little bit of extra configuration because you've got a changing screen. You're going to want multiple what are essentially sections on there. So we can add a new slide, for example. So I'll add a couple of new slides, and then we can start defining the layout of those particular slides as well. I'm just going to change the background color of those slides just so we can see exactly what it's doing. So I'll make one of my slides light gray, and I'll make my other slide my secondary color. So hopefully you can start to see now, I know we're only doing the absolute basics, but you can see how this is starting to populate. So we've created a section, which is currently empty. We've then created a slider in which we've added two slides. So they're contained within the slider element. If I then save that and refresh the page, we can see we've got our section and we've got the beginnings of our actual slider component, which we can see there is changing between the two slides that I've specified.